Assalamu alaikum, beautiful people. Just come to the protest in Rochdale town centre. Protest about Palestine. बड़ा जुल्म हो गया उधर. बहुत ज़्यादा जुल्म हो गया.
Where are imams? I can see a couple of councillors here. Councillor Faisal Rana is here. Thank you for Councillor Faisal Rana. Councillor Dalat is here. You know, Councillor Shahid is here, I can see. We shouldn't have to ask our leaders to come on the front and show leadership.
Rajdhani Club is here as well. Now say hi to my family here. Always taking video to your doorstep, to your heart, and to your homes.
I want to first of all just say thank you to our training colleagues. And those of you who know me, I'm a member of the PCS Union and the National Executive Committee. We've got the National Education Union here. We've got Unison here as well. Thank you so much to the trade unions. If you are in your workplaces and you are fearful that I'll tell you a very quick story. Somebody the other day contacted me and said that they'd been to a protest in London and their manager told them that they're going to be dismissed because they'd been to a Palestinian protest. And the person was very, very worried. I was able to get involved, alhamdulillah, save his job. Being in a trade union is so important.
Our enemy brothers and sisters sit around the table in Tel Aviv with Netanyahu. They are the war criminals. They are the terrorists. We are told that Israel is waging a war of self-defense. What kind of self-defense requires you to drop bombs, including phosphorus bombs, on 5 hospitals in Gaza City? What self-defense requires you to be responsible for the death of 5,000 Palestinian children? What kind of self-defense requires you to deprive 2.3 million people in the open prison that is Gaza? What kind of self-defense requires you to deprive them of food, of water, of medicine, of fuel? This is not any war of self-defense. Friends, it is a war of genocide. Down with the genocide. Down with the Israeli criminals. I'll tell you this before I finish. We have an uphill struggle before us. It will require all our resources. But our resources are puny compared with the spirit of the Palestinian people. In Gaza, in the West Bank, in the occupied territories, because theirs is a spirit of resistance, and it can never, never, never be broken. They have got F-16 fighter bombers. We can't stop those bombers, but they have another tool which is even more powerful, and that is the torrent of lies that we have been treated to. Our responsibility is to nail those lies. This is not the end, brothers and sisters, it is the beginning. It's a long fight. Never give up the fight for Palestinian freedom.
Richard Bailey there from the Palestinian Solidarity Campaign. I'll just ask our speakers if you keep your comments brief, then we'll get through all the speeches. I know the weather's not very good, and so if we can do that, I'll be really, really grateful. John Wilkinson's from Middleton Ward to say a few words.
Yeah, I will keep it short. I don't intend to speak, but I was going to say something.
Around PREVENT, which is the government system for identifying and countering extremism. Too often it's used as a tool of institutional racism, and it disproportionately targets black and brown people, and especially Muslims. This week we've heard in The Guardian reports that the Metropolitan Police in London are planning to increase their intelligence gathering in schools. And this is deeply, deeply authoritarian, and the NEU absolutely condemns this. We believe that police have no presence in schools, and to express solidarity with the Palestinian cause, as we've already heard, is not an extremist point of view. It's basic, simple humanitarianism. And I also want to talk about the idea that the situation in Palestine is too complex or too sensitive to be discussed within schools, which is what we have heard from our members, that they're being told, you can't talk about Palestine, you can't talk about Israel, you'll offend someone, you're going to get someone in trouble. Obviously, people will find out about what's going on. Children every day are being exposed to the horrors of this war on social media, through the internet, and will undoubtedly have questions that they want answered. It is far, far better that those questions are raised in the responsible, caring environment of a school, rather than to turn to the internet, which we know can be rife with hatred and misinformation. These conversations will undoubtedly be difficult, but it's a key part of our responsibility as educators to be able to raise the next generation with these difficult conversations and not shy away from them. We as the NEU represent the intersection between trade unions and education, which are both key elements in helping to end the siege in Gaza. We've seen today, and this week previously, workers in Belgium and California stopping shipments of weapons to Israel. Brilliant work there from trade unionists right across the world. And obviously, we don't have anything being shipped to Israel from Rochdale. And if we did, we'd definitely boycott that. But every single worker in every single trade union can contribute to Palestinian solidarity. And that is by working to educate yourselves and those around you. Find the anti-racist education that your union has on offer. If you're not a member of a trade union, join one. That is first and foremost, definitely. Find the anti-racist education that they've got on offer. Learn the history of the Middle East. Learn the role that Britain and other Western powers played in the Middle East. Learn the role that they are still playing in developing weapons and sending aid to an apartheid state. Learn to fight racism, colonisation and apartheid wherever it appears, because no amount of bombing will ever bring about peace. As Nelson Mandela said when he was fighting apartheid in South Africa in the 90s, the same thing is true here today. Education is the weapon with which we change the world. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, James, for the National Education Union. I just remind you again, if you're not in a trade union, join a trade union. It's getting really ugly out there. They're coming for our rights, they're coming for our voices. You know, we have a Home Secretary who thinks the Palestinian flag is a flag of hatred. They don't want you to talk about Palestine in the workplace. They don't want you to even come to these protests. But we'll keep coming, we'll keep raising our voice. I want to give a warm welcome to Qibla Hafiz Amjad Sahab, who's arrived as well. Inshallah, we'll be hearing from him very, very shortly. I know it's very cold, you're all shivering, I'm shivering. I haven't really got any hair to keep my head warm anyway. So yeah, we'll get through this very, very quickly, inshallah, and then we'll have a dua as well. But I just thank you to the political leaders who did turn up, but remind yourself this. In this country, this great democracy we live in, we have one thing which is powerful, and that's our vote. Use it wisely. At the next election, use that vote wisely. You know, I'm in a union that we don't really tell you which way to vote for, but I'll tell you this, your vote is powerful. And this next general election next year, it's make or break for our political class. Do they take our vote for granted? Or are we just going to be the blind followers that we've been for decades, voting for the same people who've got no backbone, who can't even be bothered raising their voices, who can't stand up to a leadership of a political party, whether that's the Tories or the Labour Party or the Liberal Democrats, who are refusing to stand with the people of Palestine. Now's the chance. Now's the chance. Our politicians are elected to represent our interest. And you've seen across this country, Labour councillors and one Conservative councillor resign from their parties. I'm not going to say to our politicians, resign. Because if you all resign, there'll be nobody left in the parties to influence from within. I get that. But where's your voice?
No voice.
Where is the voice from those politicians?
Hiding.
There is. I honestly,
All hiding.
and I say this to not just to politicians from the Labour Party. I say it to the Conservative Party politicians. I say it to the Liberal Democrats. Where are you?
Hiding.
Where's your backbone?
Hiding.
Where's your backbone?
Hiding.
That's all I'm going to say on the politicians.
Palestine. Let it die. Palestine. Palestine.
If you want to earn our vote, you have to speak for us. And if the political process is anything in democracies, it is that the politicians or aspiring politicians, I spent my lifetime around these people. They're opportunistic, they just want your vote, and then they bugger off.
That's true.
All of them. Yeah, it's time for some backbone. It's time for you, every single one of you. When they come knocking on your door, using your voice. Don't forget this moment. Don't forget those dead children in Gaza. Don't forget those children who went to sleep and not waking up in the morning. We see here the children, we're carrying our own daughters and our sons. Imagine waking up in the morning and your children are dead because of an Israeli strike. Raise your hand and promise me this, that when that general election comes, as I said, I'm not going to tell you who to vote for, that's your right. But when they come knocking your door, don't forget to raise Palestine. Don't forget to raise their silence. Don't forget to raise their complicity. Because these politicians have complicitly given the green light to the genocide that we've seen happening in Gaza these past 4 weeks. So if you are going to have some backbone, raise your hand with me and say, we promise to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we promise in front of all these people that when that time comes in the general election in the next 12 months, when those politicians knock our doors, we'll give them a taste of what we've been saying here today. We'll hold them to account. All those who are going to hold their politicians to account, raise your hands now. I can't see your hands, I want to see everybody's hand up. Raise your hands. If you haven't voted, vote. If you're not registered to vote, vote. As registered to vote. And when they come and ask you for your vote, ask them, what did you do for Palestine? What did you do for human rights? What did you do for Kashmir?
Nothing.
What did you do for the suffering people around the world?
Nothing.
And if they didn't do anything, then repay them in a ballot box. We are peace-loving people. We are from the Ummah of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam, who give us an example of how to live our lives. We are not those that divide, we are those that bring people together. And we are those that promise to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah, the people of Palestine will be free. Inshallah, the people of Palestine will be free.
Palestine!
Free.
Palestine will be free.
And inshallah, Kashmir will be free as well. You know, when I went to Gaza in 2013 and 14, and when I said to them, where, they said to you, where are you from? And they said, Asli. And I said, Allah fi Britannia. And they were like, no, Asli, where are you really from? And when I said Kashmir, they were like, Wallahi, we love the Kashmiri people. Like us, being occupied for 75 years, the Kashmiris have been occupied. So until Palestine is free, until Kashmir is free, none of us are truly free. I want to give a very warm welcome to Sam O'Brien, who's from Unison here in Rochdale. Give him a warm welcome. Hello. Free! 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 Free!
I'm from the local government branch. We represent council workers, and I know that's not always an easy relationship. People may have stories of things that they're not happy with about council services, and as council workers, we're not happy sometimes too. A big issue is that there's not enough money, but there always seems to be money for war. Our union, we have 1.3 million members. We're one of the largest unions in the country. We represent, as I say, we represent council workers and people who work in health. Our union has called for an immediate ceasefire in Gaza, and we cannot understand why other politicians are not doing the same, but let me tell you that they will be getting a message loud and clear from Unison branches that we want a clear message from politicians. If they want union money, they should represent the voices of the trade unions who want freedom for Palestine, who want an end to this war, who want a ceasefire now. I should say as well, I'm in a local government branch, I'm a council worker, but Unison also represents health workers. And health workers have problems. If you've tried to get health services at the moment, you'll have understood those problems. People may have been on waiting lists for a long time. There's a lot of stress, there's a lot of pressure. Some of you here may be health workers yourselves. Unison is proud to support health workers in the NHS. And there has been some appalling difficulties, some appalling treatment of NHS staff. But it is as nothing to what health workers in Gaza are going through right now. When you hear on the radio health workers, doctors telling stories about children who have been bombed, who have been burnt, coming to hospitals, and they cannot give them anaesthetics, they cannot give them painkillers because the Israelis won't allow those medicines through. It makes me sick to my stomach. We would not allow it in this country, and we should not, our government should not be condoning it. It is a war crime, it should not be happening in Gaza. I want to say as well, as other trade unions today have commented, you have a right to be here. Nobody should be able to tell you that you do not have a right to raise your voices for Palestine. This is not about hate, this is about love, this is about creating the conditions for peace. You've got a right to be here. People should not be victimising you. If you're being victimised in your workplace, approach your trade union rep and they will defend you. If your manager tries to tell you you can't go on a protest or you can't say certain things on social media, we will defend you. And if you're not in a trade union, if you're not in a trade union workplace, we will still defend you. Approach us, we will come and we will help you, because people should be able to have a right, you have a human right to speak out and to protest, and protesting about Palestine and Gaza is no different. You have that right. I'm going to finish on this. I believe, and it's difficult to see it now, with so many people dying by the hour, with so much hatred, with so much war, but I believe that there is a peaceful solution. I believe that there can be peace in Palestine. What does it look like? It looks like justice. It looks like social justice. If you want to get to peace, you have to have justice. You have to have justice for the Palestinians. So for Palestinians who are living in refugee camps in Jordan, in Lebanon, who have been exiled, who are having to live elsewhere in the Middle East or in Europe or in America, they have a right to return to Palestine. They all have the right to return. That is how you get social justice. People who live in Palestine now should have the freedom to travel wherever they want without somebody pointing a gun in their face. People who live in Gaza should be able to travel to the West Bank, to Jerusalem, to wherever they want in Palestine. They should have the freedom of movement. That everybody should have equal rights to health, to education, equal rights across the whole of the historic area of Palestine. There should be one Palestine. The two-state solution, I know there are some people who argue for it, but I do not believe that Netanyahu will ever give two states. It has to be one state where Jewish people, where Muslim people, where Christian people, where people who have no religion have equal rights, equal voting rights, equal rights to everything. At the moment, what you have is apartheid. Our Union Unison, we opposed apartheid in South Africa. We oppose the colonial apartheid of the Palestinian people. And that is why the slogan, from the river to the sea, Palestine will be free, is not about extermination. It is about people being able to live side by side in a state where they are equal. It's a slogan that the PLO had back in the 1970s and 80s and dropped it. It's not new. It is a claim for the whole of the historic area of Palestine to be restored to a democratic state where Palestinian people can finally be free. Free, free! Free, free! Free, free! From the river to the sea! From the river to the sea! From the river to the sea! Thank you for listening to me.
Thank you so much, Dan. And solidarity to all our trade union colleagues across the country who are out protesting day in, day out. I know the weather's about to turn, so we've just got two more speeches, and then inshallah we're going to have a minute silence, and then we're going to hear from Qibla Hafiz Amjad Ali Saab. He's going to say a few words and then do a final dua, a final prayer for Palestine. There is a Palestinian family from Gaza who live in Rochdale who are still stranded in Gaza. At the moment we just don't know where they are. Are they able to get to the Rafah crossing? And so please pray for them. Pray for all the Palestinians who are suffering. And sometimes we forget what's happened in the West Bank. 144 people have been killed in the West Bank alone. There are illegal settlers who've been oppressing the Palestinians in the occupied West Bank and East Jerusalem. So please pray for them as well. I'm going to, Hassan Ali, Sister Kulsum, there's lots of kids here, mashallah, all of them. They've been working day in, day out to make this a success. And, you know, to our imams and our masajids and Rochdale Council and Mosque, my plea to you, wallahi my plea to you, is we require your leadership and we require your support. All of you, we need them to lead, inshallah, and stand with us, because this is a cause bigger than anybody. This is a cause bigger than anybody, and inshallah, we'll get some success. So Hassan Ali.
Assalamu alaikum. As time is at its essence and it's very cold, we're shivering, like Shafiq was saying, but I think there's it's unimaginable what is going on in Palestine at the moment. So this is nothing. And a lot of people who have not turned up, I'm quite shocked, but we was expecting bigger numbers. I think people are more worried about the rain. They're more worried about raindrops. But the fact is, it's raining bombs in Gaza and people are worried about the rain. This is the reality. I'm not going to take too much of your time. I want to take this opportunity to Shafiq, to the entire team, you know who you are, who's been backing this since day one. And I just have no words to describe how angry I am with our local leaders, our local mosques, our community leaders. Sitting down and bringing statements out on social media is not going to make a difference. Especially after when a bomb took place in Gaza. Where were they right at the start when this conflict started? And you know what the reality is? We have to go personally to invite our leaders to come here and be part of the event. When in reality, they should be coming here themselves. Because this is not a matter of us. This is not a matter for us. This is the people of Palestine we're talking about. You need to come here rather than us coming to you, inviting you, telling you, oh, come and help us, support us. Instead, you should have the heart to come here. So you know what? Shame on everyone, every leader, there's over 20 massages in Rochdale and there's only 3-4 that turned up. Yeah? And when you do processions, the imams will be on the front line. When you go to events, the imams will be on the front line. I've got nothing against any mosque, any imams, just to make that clear. But when it comes to the people and the voices of Palestine, then it is what it is. You need to be here. Do anyone agree here? Yeah? Does anyone agree? The other thing I wanted to mention is, guys, there's discussed, if you be watching social media, the videos, the images that are circulating, it gives you nightmares, but it's reality. So I request the masajids to open your doors for everybody, those who are suffering from mental health after watching such videos. We've got Palestinian families here in Rochdale. Open your doors. We don't want to continue doing these meetings and for you continue forcing you to do this. So it's all our responsibility to get involved. It's all our responsibility to raise our voices. A lot of people who are not here, they are worried about their jobs. They are worried about money. But a mother is carrying the organs of a son in Palestine. This is the reality. So shame on everybody who's not here today. We do not promote hate. And Shafiq knows this very well. All the rallies we've done, it takes time to organize, especially protests. We deal with the local authority. We go with the police. We deal with everybody in a very professional manner. We don't promote hate. You know, we've got nothing against anybody. And also we condemn the people who get killed, not only in Palestine, but all around the world. Every innocent person who gets killed, we condemn. Am I right, guys? Am I right? So inshallah, I said this all the time, I said this to any rally, it's not about the people, only the people of Palestine, it's about everyone suffering around the world. But at the moment the focus is the people of Palestine. Every day they're getting bombed, every day they're getting killed, and if you are still quiet on this issue, you've got no heart. You've got no heart at all. When it comes to votes, council is the first one on the door. It's simple. Next time come to my house for a vote. I ain't giving nobody a vote. I was with Liberal Democrats, end off. They spoke nothing about Palestine, disgusting behaviour. Labour, Keir Starmer, if you've got a heart, resign. Resign. I'm sorry, Shafiq, you said not to say it, I'm going to say it. Resign. For someone who cannot call a ceasefire and let innocent people die every single day and get bombed and mothers, daughters, sisters get destroyed and you're still on the same party, my message to you, resign. We are one ummah. We've all got our life, brothers and sisters dying every single day, and you are worried about your politics, you are worried about your jobs, you are worried about your money. Sorry, Shafiq, shame on every individual. And I can't make this any clear. We will continue to do rallies, and even so, we will continue to do it every week. We won't stop until a ceasefire is called. We won't stop until Palestine is free. If you agree, put your hands up.
Everybody!
From the river to the sea, Palestine will be free! From the river to the sea, Palestine will be free! Long live Palestine!
And finally, sorry I've took a bit more time, just final minute. Finally, a lot of people came up to me and said, Hassan, are you not worried about your future? I'm not worried about my future. You idiot, what future do I have if we cannot speak up for the people of Palestine? Simple. So, inshallah, guys, I'm sorry for look, I don't want to offend anybody. I spoke my heart out. I've seen the videos. I've got a brother in Palestine who messages me every morning, and I look forward to his message, if he's alive. And every morning he's sending me videos, and so much is going on. So I request in a very calmly manner again to the mosques to open up their doors. We will be here every week. I'm going to plan to do this every week until a ceasefire is called, until Palestine is free. And look, guys, at the end of the day, it might be cold, you might be shivering, but wallahi, the conditions right now in Palestine is nothing we could justify. It's nothing we can even imagine. Them videos, we watched it, nothing. If you go there and you look at the reality, it's disgusting what's going on. And this is something, this is our iman. What does Islam teach us? Peace. It teaches us peace, and we're here today in a peaceful manner. So, for the final time, guys, wake up. To those staying up, wake up before it's too late. So many lives are getting lost. Probably, as I'm speaking right now, people are losing their lives. So for the final time, inshallah, guys, continue to show your support, continue to come, and continue to raise your voices, because your voices matter to the people of Palestine. So for the final time, free! Free! Put all your hands up. I want to see everyone's hands. If you all support the people of Palestine, I want to hear all of you. Free! 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 From the river to the sea.
Thank you so much, Hassan, and I know the emotion is really, really strong. I want to say thank you to Greater Manchester Police for facilitating this today, and also the local authority. Next week is Remembrance Sunday, so we've decided we're not going to come and do our rally next week, because we're going to show a bit of respect for our fellow neighbours and residents. But inshallah, we're going to be here on the 18th of November. Everybody promised to come. It's going to be bigger and better. We're going to get the leaflets out. We're going to get the massages involved, inshallah. Rochdale Council Mosque, we're going to work with them. We're going to bring them. We'll do it in partnership, because at the end of the day, anyone wants to stand on Palestine, we'll stand with them. We've got two more. Before we go to Imam Sahib, little Zahur. He's going to come and read Durood Sharif, which is in honor of the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. And then we're going to move on to our final speech from Qibla Allama Hafiz Amjad Ali Sahib, and then he's going to do a final dua, and then we're just going to have a 1 minute silence and then the dua.
Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina wa Mawlana Muhammadin. Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina wa Mawlana Muhammadin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa barik wa sallim. Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina wa Mawlana Muhammadin. Yahi arzu jo se kharu मिले दो जहाने की आबरू, यही आरज़ू जो सर खुदू मिले दो जहाने की आबरू. मैं कहूँ हुलामा हुआ आपका, मैं कहूँ हुलामा हुआ आपका, वो कहे कि हमको कबूल है. अल्लाहुम्मा सल्ली अला सय्यिदिना व मौलाना मुहम्मद. अल्लाहुम्मा सल्ली अला सय्यिदिना व मौलाना मुहम्मद. हस्बी रब्बी जल्लल्लाहु मा फी Sayyidullah Muhammad sallallahu la ilaha illallah. Hasbi Rabbi Jallallah ma fi qalbi Khairullah Muhammad sallallahu la ilaha illallah.
MashaAllah, thank you so much, Zuhur, son of our beautiful brother Afzal Lakshmandi. Yeah, there's a bouquet going on as well. Obviously, it's very, very tough. I work in a humanitarian field. I know it's very, very difficult to get aid in, because obviously you've got the blockade that Egypt has been involved in, and so yeah, there are buckets going on, there are people working on the ground. Please do support the local charities, particularly. Hassan made a point which is really powerful. There are Palestinian families here in Rochdale. Palestinian families in Rochdale. There are neighbours. Let's check up on them. Let's see if they're okay. Let's show a bit of solidarity and love to the Palestinians amongst us. They're in our community. It's very similar to the beautiful child Ahab who passed away. Do you remember in the flats on Tweedale Street? The child from the mould in the flats. A what? Ishaq. Do you remember him, the kid? And we had refugee families living amongst us, and they were living in such a state, and we didn't do anything for them. So the Palestinians are suffering. You know, as I said, I've got friends and family there, not family, so friends. I've been there twice, and it's very, very difficult. But imagine what it's like for the families who are having to live it day in, day out. I want to give a very warm welcome to a very good friend. He's a very good brother. He is a beautiful scholar. His father is Ustad ul-Ulama. He's a teacher of teachers, and he's a beautiful brother, and he's a beautiful leader of our community. And I'm really honoured that he's here amongst us. He's going to say a few words. He's then going to lead us into prayer. We're going to finish on a 1-minute silence, and then inshallah, you promise on the 18th of November, we're going to come back here, this very spot, 2 o'clock inshallah, we're going to come back again, inshallah, and it's going to be bigger and better. So tell your friends and your families. I know this one was organised very shortly, but the next one is going to be bigger and better. Do you remember the one we did in the town hall? Yeah. Remember by the memorial steps when we had 5,000 people, the largest protest Rochdale had ever seen? We want to do that. Are you all promised to raise your voices? Rochdale for Peace on Instagram. You're all on social media. If you're not on Snapchat, you're on Instagram. If you're not on Instagram, you're on Twitter. X, Peace for Palestine. Peace for Palestine. UK is on Instagram. We'll get a poster for you. Make sure you share it. Yeah, make sure you bring all your friends and your family. Oh, we're going to do it on a, actually I think we should do it on a Sunday. So nobody's got an excuse to chutti nahi hai, kam te jana. I don't have any time off. Sunday is a rest day. Yeah, and obviously our local media, very important, mashallah. Arif Saab is here. To all the Pakistani media, mashallah, thank you so much for all you coming as well. And Qibla Hafiz Amjad Ali Saab, please give him a warm welcome.
Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, alhamdulillah. الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على سيد الأشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين وعلى آله وأصحابه وأزواجه وذريته وأهل بيته أجمعين. اللهم صل على سيدنا ونبينا وشفيعنا ومولانا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا ونبينا ومولانا محمد وبارك وسلم وصل عليه. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala states in the noble Quran, إِنَّ فِي ذَلِكَ لَذِكْرَى لِمَنْ كَانَ لَهُ قَلْبٌ أَوْ أَلْقَى السَّمْعَ وَهُوَ شَهِيدٌ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, indeed, in this divine word, in this noble Quran, there is a reminder for whoever has a sound heart. Liman kana lahu qalb. This reminder is for the one who has a sound heart and who listens with an attentive mind. Elsewhere in the noble Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala states that on the last day, on the day of resurrection, on the day of judgment, يَوْمَ لَا يَنْفَعُ مَالٌ وَلَا بَنُونَ, the day when neither wealth nor children will be of any benefit. Your wealth that you have accumulated, your millions that you have accumulated will not be of any benefit to you. What will be of benefit to you? إِلَّا مَنْ أَتَى اللَّهَ بِقَلْبٍ سَلِيمٍ. Only those who come before Allah with a pure heart. Allah desires a pure heart from you, and that is what is required. The Quran talks about, the divine word of Allah talks about a compassionate heart, a loving heart, a heart alive with conscience, with humanity, a gentle heart, a kind, affectionate heart, and a pure heart. And you need such a heart, which the Quran refers to feel the pain, to feel the grief, to feel the sorrow and the deep sadness caused by such devastation that the brutalized, the besieged, the oppressed, the targeted,
the persecuted civilian population of Gaza is feeling right now. You need a heart to feel that pain. You need a heart, you need a pure heart to feel that pain. And all of you who have come out in this severe cold weather today, and those who have come out in their hundreds of thousands in towns and cities, in capitals around the world, all of you have that sound heart. All of you have that compassionate, kind, gentle, affectionate heart. All of your hearts are alive with humanity. And humanity, when I come to that point, I'm going to refer to something which I read online, which was beautiful. I want to share this. And it says, to the people of Gaza, we see you too. We see you, people of Gaza. You, the journalist, back on air after your wife and your children were obliterated. They were killed. You, the man who praised Allah for the kitten who survived when your apartment couldn't. You, the paramedic who desperately comforted the newborn covered in blood. You, the doctor who sang with joy that you would never forsake your patients. You, the husband who gently pried the dead toddler from your wife's arms when she couldn't let go. You, the young boy who swore nothing and no one can break you because you have Allah. We see you. You, the shopkeeper who told the world that you already have 1 foot in the akhirah, in the hereafter. You, the rescue worker, digging on empty stomach with bare hands. And how many of those brothers and sisters we have seen with our own eyes. You, the imam of the only functioning loudspeaker, sending prayers into the heavens. To the people of Gaza, we see you too. We see the humanity in you that is awakening the humanity in us. Their humanity, their sabr, their humanity is awakening the humanity in us. And this is humanity in action. This is the people with a sound and pure and compassionate heart in action. And humanity will win over brutality. Compassion and love will win over hatred and ruthlessness. Kindness will win over cruelty and viciousness. Truth will win over falsehood and evil. And freedom will win over oppression. Freedom will win over oppression. This always has been that case. And a scholar beautifully wrote, and I was so moved by this. He wrote 5 words, and he wrote, mercy has the last word. Mercy has the last word. Despite all of the cruelty, the aggression, the apartheid, the massacre that's taking place, the barbaric oppression, the hatred, the viciousness, mercy has the last word. It is mercy in our hearts. It is compassion in our hearts that has brought us here. And we get that lesson of mercy. We are a people of mercy. We are a people of peace. Our noble Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, persecuted, targeted, pushed out, his family persecuted, his companions torn apart in Makkah al-Mukarramah. When he returns, stands in front of the Kaaba, all of the enemies are standing in front of him. All of those who persecuted him. What does he say? He said, go, you are all free. Mercy has the last word. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala didn't send him with mercy. Mercy wasn't just a characteristic of our noble Master sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He sent him as mercy. وَمَا أَرْسَلْنَاكَ إِلَّا رَحْمَةً لِلْعَالَمِينَ. We are a people of mercy. Now our Lord, subhanallah, he says, كَتَبَ رَبُّكُمْ عَلَى نَفْسِهِ الرَّحْمَةِ. Allah doesn't need to decree anything for himself. He says, كَتَبَ رَبُّكُمْ. Your Lord has written and decreed for himself that he will be merciful. And he says, وَرَحْمَتِي وَسِعَتْ كُلَّ شَيْءٍ. My mercy, my compassion is encompassing over everything. We are a people of mercy, and we plead the entire world, the entire people of rational mind, people of compassion are crying out for a ceasefire. Crying out for a ceasefire. And we ask the most merciful. He Jalla Jalaluhu could introduce himself in any way, any of his attributes, but he says, Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim, I am the most gracious, most merciful. So we plead to him, we supplicate to him, we ask and supplicate to the most merciful to bestow his endless mercy upon the people of Gaza, the people of Palestine, and to grant them peace, everlasting peace and freedom. I am deeply indebted and thankful to the organizers for allowing me to say a few words. And with this, inshallah, we will have a minute silence, but inshallah, we will recite Surah Al-Fatiha together, inshallah, because our Quran starts with a dua. Surah Al-Fatiha itself is a dua, inshallah. So after a few announcements.
Sorry, I just want to remind you, tomorrow there is a convoy for Palestine from Morrison's in Rochdale and Kingsway to the BBC Media City. Clearly I'll be inside broadcasting, but anyway, you can go and protest about the biased media that we see in Western media. That's tomorrow, 3 o'clock, meet up at Rochdale, Morrison's in Kingsway. Our next protest is on the 19th, Sunday the 19th, 2 o'clock here in Rochdale. And thank you so much for coming. I know the weather is really turning, so I will ask Qibla Hafizab to do a dua. Just before we do a dua, I just ask you all, if you just participate, particularly guys here talking in the back, please let's just take a minute. Take a minute to reflect on the 9,000 plus people. And if you brought your children here, like we can see the beautiful children here, just imagine what it would have been like for those children to have been killed. And their only crime was to be born Palestinian. Their only crime was to live in Gaza. So if we can have complete silence, reflect, think of those moments and think of those children. And as we said, let's have some humanity. So we'll have a minute silence, and then inshallah Qibla Hafizah will do a final dua. Thank you very much. So inshallah we go to the final dua. We're all going to do Surah Fatiha and Qibla Hafizah, and then inshallah final prayer. But thank you so much for coming. If you've got rubbish, please clean it up, take it with you. And inshallah remember, if you get our poster, it'll be out in the next couple of days. Please share it as widely as you can. And we'll see you inshallah on the 19th. May Allah bless you. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you so much. And every moment you spend here will be a blessing from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Palestine! Palestine! Palestine will be free!
Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Before we make the dua, inshallah, this is dua as well. And as I said, our noble Quran begins with the dua. So what I want to do, most of us and are Muslim, alhamdulillah, and those who are not, they are part of this dua as well.
So what I want to do is, I will recite Surah Al-Fatiha, and I want all of you, everyone knows this surah of the Noble Quran. And we recite it multiple times throughout our daily prayers. So I want all of you to recite with me, and this area to resonate with the praise of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and with dua. So I want all of you to read with me. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Ar-Rahmanir Rahim. Maliki Yawmiddin. Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. Ihdina as-siratal mustaqim. صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، والصلاة والسلام على سيد الأشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين وعلى آله وأصحابه وأزواجه وذريته أجمعين. اللهم ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم، وتب علينا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم. ربنا لا تؤاخذنا إن نسينا أو أخطأنا. ربنا ولا تحمل علينا إصرا كما حملته على الذين من قبلنا. ربنا ولا تحملنا ما لا طاقة لنا به. واعف عنا واغفر لنا وارحمنا أنت مولانا فانصرنا على القوم الكافرين. ربنا إننا سمعنا مناديا ينادي للإيمان أن آمنوا بربكم فآمنا. ربنا فاغفر لنا ذنوبنا وكفر عنا سيئاتنا وتوفنا مع الأبرار. ربنا وآتنا ما وعدتنا على رسلك ولا تخزنا يوم القيامة إنك لا تخلف الميعاد. اللهم أيد الإسلام والمسلمين. اللهم أيد الإسلام والمسلمين. اللهم انصر الإسلام والمسلمين. اللهم انصر الإسلام والمسلمين. اللهم انصر إخواننا في فلسطين. اللهم انصر إخواننا في فلسطين. اللهم انصر إخواننا في فلسطين. اللهم أعز الإسلام والمسلمين. Oh Allah, oh our Lord, accept this gathering from us. Accept this effort from us. Accept us coming together for the oppressed, for the brutalized, for the persecuted people of Palestine. Oh Allah, we ask you, we plead to you, we supplicate to you, Ya Rahman, Ya Rahim, have mercy upon the people of Palestine. Ya Rabbal Alameen, grant them from your mercy. Ya Rabbal Alameen, grant them your rahmah. Ya Rabbal Alameen, grant them peace. Ya Rabbal Alameen, we ask that the world is asking for a ceasefire. We ask you, Ya Rabbal Alameen, to cause a ceasefire. Because la hawla wa la quwwata, there is no one who can change except Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And there is no power except the power of Allah. We ask you with your divine power and intervention, Ya Allah, we ask you to cause that ceasefire. Ya Allah, we ask for everlasting peace in the land of Palestine. We ask for the children, the women, the elderly to be protected, Ya Rabbal Alameen, under your protection. Ya Allah, grant them protection. Ya Allah, grant them shelter. Ya Allah, grant them peace. Ya Allah, grant them the provisions of life, food, medicine, and the basic provisions, water. Ya Rabbal Alameen, grant them freedom. Grant freedom to Palestine, Ya Rabbal Alameen. Grant freedom to Al-Masjid Al-Aqsa, Ya Rabbal Alameen. Not just the Muslim Ummah, but humanity is united. Your creation is united in this hour of pain, and we feel their pain, Ya Rabbal Alameen, and we ask you, our children are here in this severe cold weather, and people up and down the country and throughout the world are united in this cause. Ya Rabbal Alameen, listen to the supplications and alleviate the suffering of the people of Palestine. Ya Allahu Ar-Rahimin, Ya Allahu, Ya Rahmanu, Ya Rahimu, Ya Arhamar Rahimin. And I want you to say this with me as well. Hasbunallahu wa ni'mal wakeel. Hasbunallahu wa ni'mal wakeel. Hasbunallahu wa ni'mal wakeel. Ni'mal mawla wa ni'mal nasir. Wa sallallahu ta'ala ala habibihi سيدنا ونبينا ومولانا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين.
Thank you so much everyone. Safe journey home. Inshallah, see you on the 19th of November. Allah Hafiz.
Palestine! Palestine!
Anji, just got back from the protest. MashaAllah, it was a huge turnout. The weather was really cold as well, but still a lot of people turned out and raised their voices. I hope our voices get heard and the Palestinians get peace. Allah Ta'ala Palestinians par zulm khatam kare. They live peacefully in Gaza and all around all around in Palestine. And the main thing is just don't go home after the protest and just sit down and think that you've done your bit. The main bit starts now and it stays on forever. It's boycott these kind of businesses that are supporting all this apartheid. All these companies that are supporting Israel, you need to boycott these. There's a lot you can do your researches and in company ki boycott karo and not just now, forever. Keep doing it so it hurts them. This is our real fight. This is our real jihad. Boycott these companies. And everyone knows these companies, so Asana Kam Jarana starts here by sharing with all your friends and family that which companies are supporting them, don't support them. We can survive without drinks. We can live on water. Look at the Palestinians there without water as well. We don't need to buy all these fizzy drinks and all that. We can survive without them. So boycott karo. जिन्हें चीज़ां कंपनियां उन्हें की सपोर्ट करनी है इन्हें की boycott करो. ज़रूर boycott करो. Free Palestine. And we'll see you on the 19th of November outside Town Hall. Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala.